Welcome back to a new What If, and that is what if Asta was Blackbeard. Also, this is just a recommended, kind of recommended, by the person, by this guy, Ben 10, Benny, whatever, this guy, the Luffy profile. Yeah, he said, if you want, blah blah blah. What if Asta was Blackbeard? If you want, say yes or say no, and I say potato. Yeah, it's just neutral for me. Just I want to just say potato. Okay. Now, not the point. Let me begin into this what if, and let me shut the fuck up. So we begin into mostly Orsi's. Orsi's got two kids now, kind of two kids. Yuno was actually the first kid to actually be found, of course, by Orsi's, and later on he kind of met Asta. Now, Asta was a child that never slept. Ever since he was born, he never slept. Or, well, not as a child, but he was around 4 years old when Orsi's met him. This is where Asta was kind of in the streets, okay? He kind of lived in the streets. Of course, had a weapon with him when he was still 4 years old. Well, kind of, not 4 years old. He was about 4 to 5 years old. Okay, I'm gonna just say that. This is what Orsi thought it would be a good idea to tell Yuno to kind of go give the letter towards those people, like the letter of money, whatever. Of course, Yuno does that, and of course, Yuno does get attacked by that one drunken man, and of course, Asta, since he doesn't sleep, he's walking around, and of course, Asta doesn't know about Yuno. He doesn't even care that much. This is where, Asta sees Yuno getting attacked, and Yuno does try to use his wind magic, and Asta notices this. Wind magic. Is this a young age? Interesting. Even though Asta also knows that he's also pretty damn young, but whatever. This is where, Asta steps in, and of course, this is where the older man looks at Asta, and of course, Asta looks a little bit shorter than Yuno, but this is where, just a tiny bit. This is where, Yuno was saying, who are you? This is where, the person says, oh, another kid, what are you gonna try to do? Tell me to please give him back his little charm thing here? No, I'm not doing that. So fuck off, little. This is where, before even the older man gets to say anything, the older man falls down to the ground right now, screaming in pain, in agony, right now, clutching his right eye, saying, you monster! Asta's right now above him. Asta's eyes show no remorse, no care in the goddamn world. This is where, his greenish eyes are so damn dead. Asta's right now in his right arm is holding, mostly in his right hand, is holding like these weapons with 3 claws. This is where, having blood right now falling down the snow, transforming the snow into a reddish color. This is where, Asta grabs the necklace and throws it to Yuno and says, here, kid, get the hell out of here. This is where, Yuno was shocked and scared, which he runs away because he's just shocked and scared. But of course, this is where, he stops crying because he was just in total shock. But of course, when the adrenaline did catch up to him, when he gets back to the, church, he kind of starts crying, and of course, Orsi's and Sister Lily has to comfort him, and also the other children. This is where, Asta looks at the older man, and the older man is saying, you demon! And Asta says, I might be a demon, but you're a dead idiot. This is where, we go into Asta walking away, and the other man says, what are you talking about? You didn't even do anything. I shall kill you. This is where he uses his magic, but this is where his neck has 3 markings. Ow. The older man is now dead. This is where so many people heard about the scream, and they were confused, thinking it might have been a panic. But when they all went outside with weapons, they see the older man dead, and, no one in sight. This is where, we go into Asta right now sleeping. Well, not sleeping on a bench. Mostly sitting down on a bench and just looking into the night sky. Of course, we go into someone walking up to him. Someone being old and nice and kind. Well, should be in fucking anime, but This is what, this man is Father Orsi's. This is where Father Orsi's managed to get information and what happened. This is where, well, from Yuno, mostly a kid who has been walking around that Orsi has seen multiple times, but never seen him with parents or children or anything. Like, well, not parents or children, mostly parents or mother or father or anything like that. Grandmother or anything like that. So Father Orsi knows where, well, this kid should be at, since he's seen him multiple times. Mostly at the night or even in the morning, sitting there and staring into the blank din of space. This is where, well, Orsi's managed to land down with his broom, and of course, where, well, Asta's right now just sitting there on a bench, looking at the sky. Of course, not carrying that much. This is where, well, Asta has, well, pretty much these kind of like ragged clothes that doesn't really cover him up from the snow. Like the snow is landing upon him and Asta is not moving. He doesn't give a shit about the cold. This is what, well, Father Orsi kind of goes up to Asta and says, "Hey kid, aren't you cold?" Asta ignores him. This is where Father Orsi says, "You're a tough kid." But still, even the toughest kids still needs to have a home and at least sleep alone. Asta says, "I don't sleep." This is where, well, Father Orsi was surprised with that, with, well, how Asta's voice is kind of raspy a little bit, but also kind of, well, wants people to get away from him because it's kind of dark at the same time. This is where, well, Father Orsi says, "Come on, kid. You should come live with me and the other children at the church. I am kind of like an orphanage a little bit." This is where, well, Asta says, "I don't need it." This is where, well, Father Orsi says, "You're a tough one. How about this? Want food?" This is where Asta looks at him, and Asta's stomach just grumbles and says, "Sure." This is where, well, Father Orsi says, "Good." This is where, well, Asta kind of follows Father Orsi, and of course they get to the church, and of course the new kids meet Asta. Now, of course, Asta does have his weapon, but he hides it in his like back pocket. Father Orsi noticed the weapon, but of course doesn't say anything. Then again, he knows that a bunch of people aren't that, what's it called, good to the kid. He has seen the kid kind of get beaten up before, but of course multiple villagers kind of ignore it. But, well, Asta kind of learned from a young age that fuck all people. But yeah, because any people are evil, bad, or whatever. So of course, this is where, well, Father Orsi kind of just says, "Well, it's time for you to kind of eat food. Sister, do we still have potatoes?" This is where sister says, "Yeah, we have leftovers." This is where, well, she gives them to Asta, and of course, this is where sister tries to talk to Asta. But Asta's so shut off from humanity that he barely talks, he just eats the potatoes. Of course, the other kids are so confused with the new kid, but we go into a time skip of, well, Asta being about, well, the age of 14. Asta has become taller and much bigger and stronger. Of course, seems to just be training physical, but also kind of being a little bit taller than Yuno. This is where Yuno is 5'6", while Asta is 5'7". Asta has, well, whitish hair, but also at the same time blackish hair. This is where, well, black highlights mostly appear in his hair mostly, but yeah. This is where, well, he is 14 years old, and of course he has been living in the church for about, well, 10 to 11 years of being in the church. Of course, multiple kids kind of look up to him, even though he supposedly have no magic. Which, when I mean supposedly, it's kind of hard to even know if he has magic or not. But Yuno doesn't know about this, and neither does the other kids. The only person that knows about Asta's magic existence is her sister Lily. Sister Lily did promise Asta that she won't tell anyone. Of course, where Asta respects Sister Lily, like if she was like a mother figure to him. Of course, Asta kind of gets sad a little bit, but then just like shake his head and say thank you. Of course, in a gentle, nice tone. Even though he is not gentle or nice in tone, and mostly other people's eyes. This is where Asta has kind of been like this overprotective brother figure, which most people think that he is. When Yuno or any of the other kids gets bullied, Asta appears ready to murder the person. This is where, well, the person always tries to fight Asta, but of course they get knocked down in an instant without even Asta moving a hand. Of course, is where, well, they just get knocked out because of their will being weak as fuck against Asta's. This is where, well, if you know what I'm talking about, yes, he has Conqueror's Hawking. And yes, Asta knows about the Conqueror's Hawking existence. He knows about all three Hawking's existence. But yeah, of course, we go into Asta. Asta is right now just walking around the town until he sees, well, Yuno talking to a girl with red hair and, of course, orangey eyes. This girl is named, well, her name is Katsuki, which just stands for blood. But, of course, well, she kind of shows off with a little bit of her blood manipulation of magic and all that towards Yuno. And Yuno seems very interesting. And, of course, they're just laughing and giggling and all that. But, yeah, this is where Yuno kind of shows more emotions, okay? The reason why he shows more emotions is because, well, Asta kind of always just kicked him out of his dark corner most of the damn time. Because, yes, Asta is the most one to be dark and less talkative. While Yuno had to just become more friendly and nice. Yeah, every time he tries to sit next to Asta in his dark corner, Asta just kicked him out. But yeah, this is where, we go into Asta seeing this, and of course, Asta seems to care less. This is what, well, Asta then noticed a group of, well, nobles picking on a kind of girl who has blondish hair and blue eyes, dull blue eyes. And of course, they're like saying, what's it called? What is that twin sister of yours doing? This is where before he even gets to say anything, he passes out. This is where, the other says, what just happened? Oh god, is it your older damn sister, your twin sister? Damn, that bitch is scary. Both of their underlings said. This is where Junko said, what? Sis? This is where, well, she noticed what's it called, Asta far away, but of course it wasn't her because, well, an icicle would have been in this man's throat. But this man just knocked out. This is where, well, the two boys kind of noticed, well, behind them, a man walking up to them. Also known as the Magicless Man, but also being scary as fuck to fight him. Asta says, what are you two idiotic morons doing to her? You know, it's very stupid of you to attack a civilian. I thought you people were supposed to be some kind of new generation of magic knights, but you're showing that I'm just kicking your ass without moving an inch. This is where two of them say, what did you say? This is where they rush at Asta saying, we should show you what's called. He says, we should show you what our magical power can do. One of them has fire and the other one has, well, these vines. This is where, well, they send their attack at Asta, being very close range, but of course just saying long range, but most of the time. This is where, Asta sees this, and of course Junko sees this, and of course the fireball isn't that small, it's pretty damn big for being a noble. And of course also the other thing, multiple vines. This is where Asta sees this. Asta say, fine, if you really want to play this game, fine. This is where Asta says, yummy yummy, black hole, absorbent. This is where a black hole appears in Asta's left hand, absorbing the magic, just dispelling that shit. Just nullifying it, just destroying it in an instant. This is where, well, Asta says, are we done with this shit? Or are you gonna fight me with hand-to-hand combat now, you weaklings? This is where, well, they're just winding their eyes. Asta says, you guys are really pathetic. This is where Asta says, black hole, pull. This is where, well, he still uses his left hand, and of course he pulls both of the nobles into him, and this is where Asta, he then just transforms his other right hand, and doesn't say the name, but of course smashes upon both of them, cracking both of them down to the ground, and of course cracking a lot of bones. Of course, where, well, Asta said the last, well, name saying, Quake Bubble. Just Ripper, well, not Ripper, he says, broken bones. But yeah, of course they were shocked and of course knocked the fuck out. But yeah, Asta does look at, well, a girl named Junko, and of course Asta seems to care less. With his cold ass eyes, he just seems to care less. Junko noticed this and actually noticed the similarities of what's it called, Asta, her kind of like twinish sister, and of course this boy who just saved her with the fact that he had magic. Of course, she actually noticed the magic pressure around Asta building up, but of course just dispels. Asta says, what are you looking at? This is where, well, Junko says, aren't you supposed to be magicless? There's no such thing as magicless. This is what, well, not as Junko says, huh? So you're not magicless. But what was that? She asked Asta. Asta says, none of your business. Asta starts walking away, and of course, well, the leader of the kind of nobles says, where do you think you're going? I won't let you leave my sight. This is where he transforms his hand into steel and rushes at Asta right now, trying to punch him in the head. But of course, ice appears under his feet, freezing him, and of course, unable to move to try to punch Asta. This is where he still tries to, but of course misses because Asta's still far away. And this is where Asta turns around and grabs out something from his hand. It's like a claw, like a Wolverine claw, another. And of course, just slashes the man in the face, mostly having 3 lines through this man's face. Right now, the man is screaming in pain. Of course, Asta can punch him in the face, knocking his ass out. But yeah, this is where, well, not punching him in the head. Mostly, Asta was about to punch him until ice just from the feet kind of increases all the way up to the face. Right now, freezing him into a pile of just ice. This is where, well, that's the says interesting. Don't care. This is where, well, that's the says interesting. I didn't know you were that strong. I should thank you for saving my kind twinish sister here, Junko. This is where, well, Junko say, I didn't need help, okay? Sure you didn't. Your magic is still too weak. How many times have I told you to train? Junko says, multiple. But still, that's not the point. I am strong enough, okay? I didn't need anyone's help. Well, Asta then Asta looks at her, saying, really? This is where, Asta says, so, you're the magicless boy. Even though I saw you use magic, it's kind of confusing for a title like yours to have. Shouldn't it be called darkness? Even if I was called that, no one would actually believe to fear me. So I don't care. This is what, Asta turns around and starts walking away until ice almost appears to hit him in the head, but Asta dodges it, mostly kind of twisting his head to the left. This is where Asta turns around and says, really? A fight right now? Come on, I just want to go home. This is where, well, let's just say, that was interesting. You managed to dodge. You're pretty quick on your feet. Or head. Interesting. So, fight me, why don't you? That's our Asta sighs and says, if I take you out in like 2 seconds, will you shut up and leave me alone? Asta says, that's if you could. This is where she creates ice around her body. And of course, it's just kind of strong ice. Even though she is still like 14 and of course has her grimoire. Like none of them has their grimoire. They're all 14. This is where, Asta says, ice style. Ice shooting, what's it called? Shooting daggers. This is where she creates all the ice around her to become daggers and starts launching them at Asta. Asta, who seems to care less right now, just kind of like closes his eyes, and this is where he says, dark hole, dark domain. He says dark domain, miniature style, nullification. This is where, all the icicles, and of course, as of it's in this dome, and of course, it's pretty damn small, and of course, she's like, what is happening? This is where she feels tired, and of course, her ice and of course, her magic is getting nullified thanks to the dome. That's where Asta says, he closes his eyes, and this is where a wave of something hits her, and this is where she passes out. That's where Asta lets go of the dome, and this is where, Junko doesn't even know what the hell happened, but this is where Asta is on the ground, kind of just knocked out. That's where Asta says, she's not dead if you're thinking about that. She's only unconscious. Asta walks away, and this is where, Asta's like, no, fight me, you, This is where, Asta walks away, and of course he doesn't seem to give a shit that much, but yeah. This is where, we go into Asta. Right now, being 15 years old, he transformed 15, he became 15, and of course this is where Yuno became 15. Now of course Yuno is very good looking and what's it called, a lot of things. And of course Yuno did accidentally discover what's it called, Asta's magic. When Yuno did kind of piss off Asta so much by kind of, pranking him. It's where Asta kind of got annoyed with a little bit of the pranks. And of course, Asta uses black hole to kind of get rid of some of his wind magic and then tries to beat the shit out of Yuno. Which Yuno runs and just winds his eyes, realizing that Asta has magic. So yeah. Of course, this is where, well, we go into a 15-year-old Asta. 15-year-old Asta is kind of like 5'8". 5'8"-ish. This is where, oh, Asta is right now just like looking into the sky, into the mostly bluish sky that's transforming blue and the dark sky is leaving, but yeah. He kind of just looks up and sees, well, one thing for sure. Someone popped up in front of him, and that is Yuno's head. This is where Asta says, "What the fuck do you want?" This is where Yuno says, "Oh, come on, brother. I thought you were gonna call me bro or anything like that. Besides, you know, see what's it called? Today's the day of the grimoire kind of selection, right?" Asta says, "And why should I give a shit that much? Because you probably get like some cool ass grimoire." Asta says, "Ugh. Fine. I'll go then." This is where, well, Yuno says, "Good, let's go then." This is where Asta says, "Yeah, just give me a few seconds." This is where Yuno says, No, you can't just disappear on me, okay? You disappear on me multiple times." Asta says, "Sure." Now, of course, Asta seems to be well built for being a 15-year-old. And of course, he is 5'8", taller than Yuno, who's 5'7". So yeah, when they were 14, they were like that tall, but yeah. Like 5'6" and 5'7". Yeah. Or, no. So, Asta was, yeah, I'm going to say that Asta's 5'8", and Yuno's 5'7", but yeah. This is where, well, they're actually going towards the grimoire selection, and this is where, well, Yuno and Asta are going there, but this is where Yuno kind of sees a girl with reddish hair, very longish reddish hair, orangey eyes, and of course, the where, well, she's kind of like manipulating her blood and all that, so she doesn't get too much tension and afraid and anxiety while trying to get to the grimoire and not trying to fall. This is where, well, she then hears the voice of Yuno, and Yuno says, "Hey, Kitsune, are you okay?" This is where Kitsune says, "Yeah, I am, thanks, Yuno." This is where, well, they're talking, and of course, this is where, well, Kitsune starts kind of getting more confidence, and of course, just along with Yuno just talking. This is where Asta says, "Great, lovebirds." This is where, well, Asta noticed two people in front of them, and this is where, well, these two people, one with longish blue hair and kind of dark blue eyes, and this is where another girl's with blonde hair but two ponytails, and of course, this is where, well, she has dolish blue eyes. This is where they look behind and say, "Asta?" That's what Asta says, "Ugh. God damn it." This is where Asta says, "I will not forget our battle. You're gonna fight me one way or another." Asta says, "For the god of love, fuck off." This is where, well, Junko saying, I guess that's how big sis is kind of most of the time. That's where, well, Junko's kind of a little bit, well, not smaller than Asta because they're actually the same height, 5'8". And that's where, well, Asta says, yeah, whatever. That's where, well, they all start going to the grimoire selection. And when they get there, a bunch of people are kind of seeing Yuno's kind of like mana around him because he is loved by mana. And of course, everyone else is kind of noticing how good looking Yuno is, how good looking Kitsune or even Asta or even Junko is. And when they look at Asta, Asta just seems to have a cold ass expression. No friendly expression. Same with Asta. Asta that had the same thing. But the fact that Asta has this cold ass expression, and of course, like his hood is kind of covering him up because Asta has a hood right now, and of course his eyes are kind of just being menacing looking because his upper face is being covered up by the shadow of the hood. And of course, since there's not much lighting, that's kind of happening, and his green eyes are being menacing looking like. It's where everyone is right now terrified. And of course being scared in who the hell this person is. But this is where the grimoire selection is starting right now. This is where everyone is kind of like getting their grimoire. Some of them are small, some of them get 3 leaves, some of them get 2 leaves, some of them actually gets 1 leaf and it's pretty damn small. Some of them gets a big ass book and other people are just like, yonder, blah blah blah. So yeah, a bunch of people got that. This is where Yuno still gets his 4-leaf grimoire. And of course, so many people are just shocked and amazed. This is where Renji smiles and says, interesting. Nobles gets jealous. But this is where, well, Junko kind of gets a 5-leaf. And of course, where this reddish aura kind of appears. This is where a bunch of people are like shocked with her. And the mana is strong also. This is where Renji's interesting also. Another grimoire, interesting. As the grimoire appears, Of course, being a 4-leaf grimoire, and of course this ice pressure, a very cold demonic pressure, or not demonic, mostly cold sinister pressure appears, and of course a bunch of people start freezing, kind of getting goosebumps, and that's where so many people are just shocked. Kitsune does get also a 4-leaf grimoire, and of course her blood magic kind of just goes around her, kind of making an aura. This is where people are just shocked with them. This is where so many people are shocked, and this is where we go into Asta. Asta is right now just looking into the sky and saying, I knew that I wouldn't be a grimoire. I wouldn't get a grimoire. This is why, something happens. Something from the air just cracks and ripples. This is where, the air cracks and ripples, and this is where a grimoire starts falling down. Right now in high speeds. This is where towards Asta. This is where darkness and cracks and ripples appear around Asta when Asta grabs a book. This is where his magic is very sinister and dark, and people shouldn't get around Asta. This is where his grimoire seems to be a different texture than everyone else. Everyone has like these kind of texture patterns around the grimoire, either kind of like bluish color or anything. Asta's grimoire just has this darkness color and has these cracks and ripples around it. This is where, Asta says it's interesting. So, just like my previous life, I would have had the Yami and the Guru. In this life, I'll still have them. But some magic. Asta smiles to himself. Now, a bunch of people kind of see it being kind of creepy, but holy shit, Asta has a 5-leaf grimoire. And the fact that his magic is so dark, sinister, and very powerful, everyone kind of walks away from Asta like, holy shit. Yuno is shocked. He knows that Asta has what's it called magic, but one thing is for sure, he doesn't have just one magic type. A second magic type? Asta looks at everyone and says, what the fuck you looking all at? This is where, everyone shuts up and looks somewhere else, but yeah. This is where, Renji is shocked and amazed. This is where he says, interesting. Very interesting. Good. That person would be a good person for me to take his grimoire. This is where, everyone is walking out, and of course, this grimoire leaves are actually purple instead of being kind of black, but yeah. Asta kind of just say, interesting. This is where, Junko and Asta say, so, you got a 5-leaf grimoire. Interesting. Well, Asta says, but still, I won't lose to you. Because I'm the, that's why Asta says, yeah, you're the strongest, blah, blah, blah. God damn, will you stop annoying me with that? This is where Asta gets annoyed and says, let me finish my fucking, speech, you asshole. Asta says, no, I don't care. This is where, Junko's laughing, but yeah, giggling, but mostly. This is where, they hear Yuno and Kitsune getting captured by chains by these nobles, mostly being behind them, and this is where chains appear behind, as the Junko and even Asta. This is where the chains get ripped off thanks to darkness. Asta's grimoire is right now open, and it just says darkness wall behind him. This is where, Renji says, interesting. Your magic's pretty interesting. The fact that it nullifies my magic is quite annoying and interesting. Asta says, what are you doing, Yuno? Are you really this weak and you got captured? Yuno says, is it really a damn time for you to kind of tell me that I'm weak? Yes. Pretty much yes. This is where Kitsune kind of starts giggling, but this is where she says, still, it seems that this guy doesn't know about my magic. Blood manipulation magic. Control of the chains. This is where blood does leak out and actually falls onto the chains, and of course this is where, chains actually become hers. These chains actually become red and not part of what's called Renji no more. This is where the chain starts attacking Renji, and this is where wind actually destroys the chain. This is why Yuno says, I'm not being let down by, I shouldn't say young. This is where Asta says, I'm older than you and taller than you. Fuck off. This is where Yuno says, we're the same age, asshole. Asta says, we are? Then again, you are more childish than I thought. This is where Yuno says, I'm gonna kill you. Whatever. Wind arrows. This is where multiple wind arrows appears around Yuno and launches him at Renji. Of course, Renji is shocked, and he has the grimoires right in his hand. How the fuck are they using magic so easily? This is where, this says, Ice style, Ice Reaper sword. This is where she cuts at, Renji in the back, and Renji, this giant, mostly gash on his back. This is where, he coughed up blood, and this is where, the slash actually freezes the wound. And of course, ice is actually getting into his body. This is where she says, "Ooh, interesting. My ice is that powerful that I can actually control like a virus." She's shocked, and right now, feeling the frost right now in his breath, he's like, "Holy shit!" He dodges another wind arrow from Yuno, and dodges a red chain from Kitsune. And this is where, well, Yuno and Kitsune are right now working together pretty easily. This is where, well, he has to say, "You're really pathetic, you know that?" This is where Renji says, "Why you?" This is where, well, for some reason, he got the over urge of feeling sad. He feels this depression. He feels like he should die and all that. This is where he's shocked and saying, "Why am I thinking of all this?" This is where Junko's right now giggling and saying, "Interesting, he falling for my magic. Manipulation magic. Well, mostly emotion manipulation." This is where Renji is shocked. This is where, oh, Junko's having this evil, like, look and all that. And this is where Asta seems to care less. This is where Renji starts trying to run away and trying to get away from all four of them because they're crazy. And passes Asta. And this is where Yuno says, "Really? You're gonna let him go?" Whoever said I was letting him go. Asta pulls out his left hand from his pocket. This is where Asta says, "Black hole pool." This is where, well, Renji's trying to leave, but this is where he decides to be pulled backwards. And this is where, when he turns around, still in midair, Asta, he has an earthquake bubble in his hand. He says, "Gura. Punch!" This is where he punches Renji in the face, cracking all the bones in his body. This is where, well, this man's face is fucked up, and also his body is also fucked up because the bone, mostly Gura did kind of travel through his body. This is where this man is knocked the hell out into a wall and bleeding from the nose. This is where, well, everyone is shocked. They're like, "Yeah, he's much powerful." This is where, well, Asta says, "Now fight me, Asta." This is where Asta says, "I didn't even use my grimoire. You're the one to be the only one to use her grimoire." Asta says, "Shut up! I only wanted to make an ice reaper. And I didn't need to make my grimoire activate. That was just automatically." This is where Asta says, "Sure, whatever. No, I'm not fighting you." This is where Asta says, "You're gonna fight me one way or another, even if you like it or not." Asta says, "That sounds really sexual." This is where, well, Asta's face becomes red and says, "Shut up! Don't think of it like that." This is where, well, Junko says, "Yeah, that is true." This is where, well, Asta and, well, she glares at almost everyone in there, well, mostly the four of them. Mostly Asta, Junko, Yuno, and even Kitsune. This is where, well, Asta says, "Shut the fuck up, all of you. Don't you dare say anything." Yuno says, "I don't even say anything." This is where Asta says, "Were you thinking about it?" Yuno starts walking away, and the Star Kitsune just follows him just because they were thinking about it. And this is where, well, Asta says, "See, you bastards." This is where Asta says, "Well, I should be going also." This is where Asta says, "No, you're gonna fight me one way or another. Fight me in the fucking months coming, because we're probably going to go to the magic capital. Or I'm probably going to be dragged along. Whatever." This is where, oh, this is shocked and just angry in this very angry-full tone. But yeah, this is where Junko says, "Come on, sis, let's go." This is where, well, let's just say, "Fine, whatever." This is where, well, we go into the time skip of 1 month. Of course, Asta still met what's called fan sale. And of course, Asta met what's called the Diamond Magic and Assassins or whatever. This is where, well, Asta rips through them easily, killing them all pretty easily using his darkness. This is where he kind of absorbed her still easily. This is where, well, Asta then meet with Mariana, and of course, Asta really just knocked her out using Conqueror's Hawk and tie her up and just give it to fan sale like a present. This is where fan sale says, What? You're done. Here, just keep her, whatever. I don't know what you want to do with her." This is where fan sale, she's kind of like a daughter to me. What the fuck will you tie her up and just like give it to her? Give me to her, okay? This is where Asta says, "The fuck should I know? I don't know anything about her. Leave the fuck alone." This is where, well, Asta mostly just chill with fan sale, and of course looking at the night sky. And fan sale noticed one thing: Asta doesn't sleep. No one, okay, everyone in the village knows that Asta does not sleep. He's the unsleepable. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't take a short nap. He doesn't do any of that. It's confusing for so many people. Even the church is very concerned with Asta's health and mental state. But the problem is, he just doesn't sleep. Asta says, "Well, should be going now." This is where, well, Asta just walks away. And of course, even though Asta is very cryptic and very cold at the same time, he seems to be attached to a little bit of people with hope a little bit, but not much. This is where, well, Asta starts kind of walking away, and this is where, well, the man says, interesting. Wow. Come on, Mariana. Mariana says, She then gets the, well, rope out of her mouth, and this is where she's screaming at Asta's name and saying, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Asta says, bring it on. Or I should wait against the line. There's other people trying to kill me. That's where, well, Mariana gets angry and narrow her eyes at Asta's back of her head. Well, back of his head, but this is where Asta seems to care less and just walk away. This is where, well, we go into the month time skip, and of course, Asta is now, well, going towards the capital. But this is where I'm gonna leave it off for part 1 of What If Asta was Blackbeard, or was like Blackbeard, or whatever. I should have put like, but whatever. Bye, and potato.